So what's unique to Waikato is that we have the best university in the country for computer science. However, what's not unique is that we're also suffering from a worldwide skill shortage in the tech sector. This is difficult for us because as a company named as the fastest growing in the Central North Island, which also happens to be the fastest growing region in New Zealand, we're desperate for staff.
Mainly I think it's the lack of awareness of what the opportunities are in that particular sector, and the reason for that is often just due to their own limited personal experience. You only know what you know, and if you don't really have any experience with people working in those areas, you're not aware of the opportunities that are there.
For me personally, it's like not knowing what kind of jobs there are out there, and like, yeah, just not aware of how much different jobs there are, and like, because we only get told from like primary and stuff, all the basic ones, so like being a doctor or being a lawyer or something like that.
Careers have changed so much. The type of jobs we knew 20 years ago and now are so different. Even in engineering, we used to just have maybe 3 or 4 branches of engineering. Now there's like maybe 20 branches of engineering that students can get into. And so it is very different. It is an eye-opener, and it certainly widens the horizons for myself.
It's hard to know what to do because we don't really know what's out there.
So it's really surprised me because I also went to girls' high, so the students we were just teaching or that we just hosted, I went to their high school when I was younger, and it surprised me that they still aren't offering these options to girls. It was something, like I said, that I was really interested in, and I know that it is becoming more like prevalent, or like, you know, it's there these days. It's an option that more girls are being exposed to, and people are really trying to encourage girls to get into the industry, but they're not actually giving them these opportunities at all to get into the industry when they're at high school.
Another fascinating aspect of our industry is the underrepresentation of women in technology. And so one of the things that we were keen to do was to partner with a girls' school so that we could also hope to influence and inspire girls to enter the industry.
Tech is actually really fun, and it's not that stereotype that you're a bunch of devs sitting in a room not talking to one another. And being in this industry, I've actually found it's one of the most social industries I've ever been in, and everyone is really friendly, and I never have felt like, I guess, invaluable or kind of oppressed compared to my male peers. They're all super encouraging. They're all really happy to actually have women in the industry, which is really cool. And yeah,
I think a lot of students at year 10, which we are looking at, they actually are not aware of how much maths can affect their future careers, and how much maths plays a big part in the careers that they are able to get into, you know, and SSEP actually helps them to see what other career options are available out there, and that there's so much possibility these days. And if they keep doing their maths, and a lot of the employers are actually trying to instill in them how much of their future careers depends on the mathematics they actually do now. And I think it's that awareness that helps our students to think about doing maths up to levels 2 and 3 and not dropping it as soon as they can.
People have chosen by the first few years of high school what sort of career path they'd like to take, and that's one of the reasons why SSEP is attractive to us, in so much as that we can influence people at the ages of 13, 14, 15 to help them choose a career in the tech sector.
Like a huge thing I think is that when you're getting girls interested in tech earlier on as well, it's also kind of giving them the voice or the courage to go to their teachers in schools and say, why is this class not like available to me? And it's going to encourage schools to actually see this as a viable option that people are interested in, because when I was younger, it was a really huge thing that they didn't offer computer science classes, and so because I was a girl who was interested in computers, the only option I really had was admin work, I guess. It was all word processing, there was no programming classes, and I felt like that gated off my opportunity to actually study IT at university.
Before SSEP, I didn't know much because I just knew that technology stuff was like with different things, like helping with like a hospital or being a tech guy for like something like that. yeah.
So one of the things that we love to do is we love to inspire people to, I guess, to see the vision of what a degree in computer science or what a career in technology can give them. It's a really creative space, and it enables people to do things which, you know, once upon a time you could only dream of. So we've partnered with both Hamilton Boys High School, which we've done since the beginning of the program. That's been really successful for us, and some of the, I guess, the feedback we've had made us realise that if we did the same for a girls' school, or certainly with an environment where we could influence and inspire girls, that would be really useful. So this year we've partnered with Hamilton Girls High School, and we have some of our business leaders from Company X who are inspiring the girls.
For the workplace visit, I really wanted to show the girls that working in IT is not just about sitting behind a desk 8 hours a day coding. And so I wanted to give them a variety of finding out about how we work, not just the actual work that we do. Through showing the girls that there are a wide range of people working in IT, we also showed that there were a wide breadth of skills required and different roles that suited different people. Not just coding, but also your communication skills, your written and oral communication as well, creativity, your arts, and that it's really important for the girls to make the right decisions early on in their education to enable them to have those choices about different types of roles in these areas.
So, I mean, we've done sort of 2 major workshops so far with the girls. The first was taking a piece of software that we made to help students decide what kind of career path that they want to take in the future. And we converted that to work offline well in the classroom. And it was just to sort of get the girls thinking about their potential futures and then start relating that back to what they're learning now so they can take the correct classes. The second thing that we did was a application workshop, which was all about showing them that you know, there's a very human side and very social side to designing applications for different uses, and it's not just all people on computers. There's a very big element of, well, how can this be used by different people?
What we are doing now with Company X is amazing, because with digital technologies coming up as compulsory for junior students in high schools now, so we did basic things like coding, how to write a code by doing a simple exercise of even making a sandwich, so the students actually get to see how accurate their instructions need to be in order not to have bugs in their program for the user. And also with Company X, they have brought the students around the WinTech House, which gives them an insight into how they can work as their own employers, not working for someone else, and that there are so many STEM related jobs that they can do that are open out there, especially to young women who actually keep on doing maths in high school. A lot of the SSEP employer partners, they have told the students how they were not actually good at maths at school, but the maths they have learned have helped them step into the careers that they're actually doing now, and how important it is to at least do some maths at school and not give up on it too early. Well, one of the obvious changes in the girls is that they buy into the idea that they can do jobs, especially the jobs, the careers that are STEM careers, and they have been shown that a lot of women are very successful STEM career women, and so I think that has changed their attitude into instead of asking, when are we ever going to use this in real life, you know? So my answer to them now is, look at all the places you've been to, you know, that actually helps you to see how maths is applied and used regularly and all the time in various kinds of jobs that you may not even think needed maths. that's very interesting, because actually when I talk about SSEP to my year 12 students, they were asking, why didn't we ever have that opportunity when we were juniors? You know, and so I've talked to them about it. I've shared the year 10 experience with SSEP with them, and I've also told them about the STEM careers that are opened nowadays, and so I've learned myself what are the careers these days, and I have shared that with my senior students as well.
Having companies come into our classroom has allowed me to think of doing things with computers, and seeing how fun it can actually be compared to how people say it can be, I guess.
Personally, I found it really rewarding, I guess. It's just something that I'm really inspired and keen to do, because it was something that I never had as an opportunity when I was at school. So I think about it, if I was in their position now, how much it possibly could have changed how I kind of approached the subject and going into it in a tertiary education. So yeah, personally I just found it really rewarding to try and encourage these girls, and when Betty kind of emailed us saying, hey, would you and Sasha be interested, I immediately put my hand up. I was like, yes, I'm so passionate about this.
What I liked the best was probably seeing what different things you can do with like technology, like in like this company, because it's like, since everything's going to be technological, that, I don't know what that was, but you know.
Digital.
Yeah, digital based now, because everything's turning digital, and it would help a lot if I wanted to make my own company or just start something for myself.
I think it's just, for me, I've learnt just a lot more about different places. So I've always just known about the main jobs, you know, or how they work, and math, like, because most of the things we've had, it's to do with math. I'm not a math person. I absolutely hate math. Sorry about that, but it's not like one of my favourite subjects. And so I think this has probably made me like enjoy how like STEM works into math and all that kind of stuff. Percentages and how that works, and with the graphs with Company X made it a lot more understandable.
It's helped me like to see what's kind of out there, and like what things I like doing, and like what the subjects I like contribute to different like aspects of a job that I would like to do.
For me, I've learned that there's lots of different job options that you might not know about, like computer sciences and stuff. Like before I wasn't really interested in it, but like now I'm kind of suggesting that I could maybe do that.
I mean, it was really cool to see some of the videos of the students being interviewed, and just how excited, and the realisation that you know, we're not just a bunch of guys sitting in a corner coding with headphones on, that we're actually like having a bit of fun, and we're very social.
SSEP has been wonderful because it has linked our school with different businesses in our local community. We can walk to a lot of them, and we've really managed to increase the ties and the links that we've got with those businesses, so it's been very advantageous.
Having companies come into our classroom has allowed me to think of doing things with computers, and seeing how fun it can actually be compared to how people say it can be.
I think all the employers are amazing in how much time and preparation they put into these visits and to the school, and for the schools to come into their workplaces. And I think Smart Waikato is very supportive, and we really appreciate that. And I hope that we can continue to do this for students in the years after this, so that they can actually learn and benefit from knowing what's out there that they can step into when they leave school, especially if they have done some work on their maths.